Welcome back to Odd Scoops. Today we're going to be making oatmeal cream pie ice cream. Now, last week we spun the wheel of flavor and it landed on oatmeal cream pie cookies. Now I'm super excited for this one because A, is a very nostalgic snack growing up for me, but also I think this is going to translate really well into ice cream. And actually something I think I want to do at the end of this episode is actually try to turn this into an ice cream sandwich with actual oatmeal cookies. But game plan wise, this one should be pretty straightforward. I think my game plan is I'm going to be adding probably one or two of these oatmeal cream pie cookies into some milk on the stove and kind of let it steep and break down and use that to kind of get the flavor in there. Then depending on how the cookie breaks down, I might strain it out. I'm still debating on that. Then the filling here, the cream filling, it has a little bit of a marshmallowy consistency to it. So my plan is to add a little bit of marshmallow cream into the ice cream base as well to kind of give it a lighter, more cream-like filling like that. And then the oatmeal cookie part will also help flavor the ice cream. So I think the only thing left to do now is try one of these because I have not had one of these in years. So I'll try one, see how it is, and then I think we'll get to cooking. So yeah, these aren't super big, so I'm leaning towards probably using two of these, if not more. Really nice oatmeal smell right there. That is good. Yeah, I think the marshmallow cream should help kind of keep the theme and consistency of this cream filling going throughout the ice cream. One thing I am noticing is kind of like an oily residue on my tongue right now, like it's kind of coating it, and it's kind of reminding me of previous ice creams where I've done donuts and Twinkies, which I guess this one would be closer to the Twinkie one, where the oil kind of coats your palate as you're eating the ice cream. So I do think I will probably strain this out afterwards because I don't want that residual oil to stay there. So I'll keep some of this in there as a binding agent, but I think for the most part, I'm going to try taking most of it out. So yeah, let's go and head over to the stove and get cooking. Okay, we're going to start with our cup of milk. Okay, next we're going to take our cookies and start breaking them up and putting them in here. These are already pretty soft, so they should get in there pretty easily. Now already you can tell that the cookies have basically dissolved or really broken apart, which is really good. That means this is breaking down into the ice cream really well. Okay, now we're gonna add, I think, a spoonful of our Marshmallow Fluff, about that much. Okay, this is looking really good right now. So we're gonna go ahead and let this cool a little bit longer, and then we're gonna head back to the main station where I will strain this, and then we can add the rest of our ingredients. All right now you can tell this is already pretty thick, but I'm hoping some of the remaining chunks of cookie I can get out with this strainer here. So here we go. All right, that is what came out of the strainer. So this is not as thick as it was before, which is good, but it's still kind of, say, like a gravy consistency. Like it's still pretty thick, and I think that's from the like binding agents that are in the oatmeal cookies themselves, as well as the marshmallow fluff. So because of that, I'm not gonna be adding any guar gum, but I did want to wait until after we strained everything to add the rest of our ingredients, so none of those extra ingredients were lost in the straining process. So right now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Normally I add like 3 or 4, but because we have the cookies that are already sweet, plus the marshmallow fluff, I feel like 2 should be plenty to sweeten this without making it overly sweet. Then I'm gonna add just a little bit of vanilla extract just to really enhance the flavor. All right, and that is that. Yeah, still very kind of gravy-like consistency. I'm hoping that that affects this in a positive way, so this is a really thick ice cream and not like some of the other ice creams I've done where it ends up being a little more gluey and still doesn't sit right. So I'm hoping it's more towards like the thickness of the ice cream and not kind of this like chewiness of it. So we won't know until tomorrow, but Other than that, this looks really good. I mean, it looks like an oatmeal ice cream already. Has a really nice oatmeal smell to it. Not overpowering, but I feel like just the right amount. I'm really interested to see how the marshmallow fluff also affects the texture of this. And that also could be why part of this seems so kind of thick already. So we'll see with that, but this is what that looks like right there. You see it's kind of jiggly. Yeah, I think we're ready to go ahead and put this in the freezer and see how it turns out tomorrow. Okay, it is the next day. Let's see how this turned out. So this didn't change too much, which is good. It obviously got a little bit darker. Still kind of has that kind of clumpy look, kind of that gravy texture that we were talking about before. That's what that looks like right there. Getting a really nice oatmeal smell from that. Yeah, it's not super strong, but I'm also getting the sweetness, which is obviously the cream and the marshmallow fluff that we added. Yeah, I'm really excited to blend this up and see what the texture is gonna be because this has that marshmallow fluff in there. So hopefully this doesn't end up being gummy. That's the one thing I'm worried about. But yeah, I think let's go ahead and blend it up and see how it turns out. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Luckily, it doesn't seem to be very gummy, which is what I was wanting. One thing though is it seems to be on the softer side, which I wasn't expecting. I thought some of the oatmeal cookie components along with the marshmallow fluff would add more binding to this. So that's very interesting, but get a better look right there. This smells so good. I'm so excited to try this. Other than the consistency, I don't have anything to go off of to be worried about. So I think let's go ahead and dish this up. Okay, so this was very misleading. This actually is holding its shape pretty well. Now this is actually surprising me. It looked like it was more melted than it was, but this actually has a much firmer shape initially. I think it's the shine on top that makes it seem more melted. I think it's the marshmallow fluff that's giving it that stiffness that I was looking for, which is great, but I am interested to see how that applies in ice cream and how it tastes. Is that going to affect it in a good way or a bad way? There's what that looks like right there. Yeah, you can see here it's a little bit stringy. All right, bon appetit.
Little Debbie snack cakes. No one has to know.
That's a 10.
Wow, that is unlike any ice cream texture I've ever had. This is incredibly smooth. Honestly, the easiest way to describe this is it tastes exactly like I'm eating a oatmeal flavored marshmallow cream. It is so light and kind of cream-like, but it has that great oatmeal taste. It's not overly sweet. I think it's balanced perfectly. Yeah, I think this needs to have the ice cream sandwich taste test first before I give my final verdict. Now that looks super good right there. Check that out. All right, let's try this. Oh yeah, this is a total winner for this. This is just, wow. Really, my only complaint is for the ice cream sandwich. I probably should have made the cookies maybe a little bit thinner. And then I wish the ice cream had just a smidge more firmness. So that way when biting down on the cookie, some of it doesn't just squeeze out. But yeah, this is so good. Yeah, this is just such a smooth, creamy ice cream. I really love the addition of the marshmallow fluff. I definitely think when you're making ice cream, it's worth playing around with because that adds such a fun texture to this where it's almost not even ice cream anymore. It's more like just like a cold cream almost. Highly, highly recommend you try making this. This is a slam dunk right here. I mean, it's oatmeal and ice cream. Kind of hard to go wrong with that. So yeah, because of all of that, I mean, I have to give this a 5 out of 5 scoops. This is incredible. completely new texture of ice cream I've never encountered before, and definitely makes me want to play around with the marshmallow fluff more in my ice creams, because this is a really fun texture to have. So yeah, Little Debbie's oatmeal cream pie cookies. It definitely works as ice cream. Might need some tweaking for an ice cream sandwich, but I think if you just take an oatmeal cookie and turn it into a crumble on top, I think you're fine. Okay, it's time to churn the wheel. So we landed on apple pie cheddar. That one should be pretty fun. So I'll see you guys next week.